Hey there, and welcome to episode 14 of the Simply Great Relationships podcast. We're so glad that you could join us today. Today we have a really good episode that I think a lot of people will be able to relate to. I'm Marina Marina. This is Meredith Silversmith, and today we're going to be talking about how to stay connected when lives get super hectic and you have no time. We'll be covering how we feel and what we need when things get hectic, how your relationship suffers when things get too busy, how your relationship can serve as a cushion for the external stressors that kind of hijack our time, and quick and easy ways to stay connected even when things are super hectic. So make sure that you stay until the very end because we've got a really, really great bonus for you today. And we'll tell you how to get it at the end.
So I really like this episode as someone with a very hectic life and schedule and crazy schedule, and I know you are as well. So I like this. I think this is going to be really beneficial. And I think a lot of what we're sharing today are like life hacks that we use ourselves.
Yeah.
So it's definitely coming from a tried and true recommendation.
Yes.
So how we feel, right, when things get really hectic and what we need. So as individuals, you know, because to start off, we are one person, even though we're part of a relationship. How do we feel when things are totally crazy? You know, I'll feel overwhelmed and stressed, run down, tired. I definitely get irritable when there's too much going on, impatient, like everything feels like a problem. Everything feels like it's challenging. And I'm like tapped out.
Yep. Short, snappy, dismissive. That would be me. When I get overwhelmed, I just know, like I'm running on empty, and my tolerance for anything becomes so low. And it sucks. Like, I don't like being that person.
I don't either. And I'm laughing because I'm just thinking of an experience that we share quite often when, you know, Marina and I work a lot, and we work a lot collaboratively, luckily and happily. But we work from home often. So we do a lot of FaceTiming, a lot of Skype meetings, and we do a tremendous amount. And our husbands work from home often also. So Marina and I will be mid-meeting and, you know, maybe a bit stressed or overwhelmed, like on hour 3.
Yeah.
And you could I could only imagine, like, if there was a fly on the wall, because all you hear is, like, George, Tom, George, Tom. Just, like, snapping at them, like, stop, why are you doing that? Because we're overwhelmed and we're stressed and we're, you know, our resources are being taxed. So it happens to the best of us.
Yeah, and we maybe aren't using our nicest, indoor voices and best ways to express our needs. But again, like, we're human, and that's what happens when you're just really tired, overwhelmed, when things are hectic. What about needs? Like, what do you need when you feel really like things are chaotic?
I need to feel like I have help. Like, I have someone on my side, that I'm not, like, alone with it, that I have someone to, at the very least, listen to me. Right? Yeah. Let me vent and let me, you know, just get it all out, what's going on for me, and to feel like that person cares.
Yeah.
That's really what I need. What about for you?
I feel like I definitely need that. I need, like, to know that I have someone on my team. Like, it's almost like I think about it, like, I feel so, like, deflated and depleted. Having, like, George there is really, like, having a backbone, like, having that strength. But I also, like, I need calm, and I need an opportunity to decompress. And that doesn't mean, like, a spa day. Like, I just need that opportunity to, like, tap out and shut down and, like, recharge my battery. Yeah.
It's true. I think what's beneficial is the needs that we're talking about can be met jointly. right?
Mm-hmm.
There's something that you can do as a we, not just as an I.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a bit of what we're going to be talking about today. The reality is that your relationship suffers when things get too busy, and where that line is different for everyone and different for every couple. But just as you as an individual suffer when things are too busy, so does your relationship. One of the first things that happens, and this is actually a marker that I use with my couples to tell when things are just going a bit off track, is their rituals of connection break down. So the habits that they had get pushed out by other things, and other things start to take precedence and priority, and that morning walk, or the evening conversation, or the once-a-week television show, they start to fall off because of other things.
Yeah. And again, I think that really rituals of connection, if they keep us in positive sentiment override, when they break down, it's really easy to slide into that negative sentiment override, and all of a sudden it feels like, and things are hectic, and there's a rain cloud over my relationship. So, also, when you have less energy and less patience, you have less energy and less patience towards each other.
Right.
And you communicate and create an environment that's not really what you want to feel like in your relationship. And that's a really bad feeling to feel like you're stuck in a pattern when you know that's not the way you want to feel.
Yeah. And, we talked a lot about turning towards each other. Gosh, I think it was 11 or 12. We'll put it in the show notes. Episode 11 or 12, we talk a lot about why that's so important and the benefits. So you could definitely go back and take a listen there if you feel like this is something that's happening for you. Because not having the energy and patience to do that is detrimental. Another reality is just having less time together. Right? If you're super busy, you have less time together, which means you have smaller windows to create positive moments. This is something I've started talking about more and more with couples, especially, I feel like the couples we see, and at least for me, the vast majority have incredibly busy schedules. So that is a piece of things. But I kind of explain it like this. So if you spend 5 hours together every week, and one of those hours goes poorly, right? It's conflictual, it's stressed, it's tense, there's an argument. 1 out of 5 hours is negative. It's 20% of your time together. That's a big chunk. That's a really big number. Whereas if you had 20 hours a week that you spent together, and 1 hour went badly, that's only 5%.
Yeah.
So the impact it has on your relationship and how you feel is going to be lower than if you have less time together.
Yeah.
So I think that's really significant. It's almost like, basically what we're saying is, if you have less time together, that makes that time all the more important to create positive moments and for things to go well.
Yeah, and also, if you only have so much time together, and you have kids, and you have this, and you have that, and you have commitments, it's also, less time, and you probably have less energy to communicate in a healthy and effective way, like we talked about in episode 1, just because there is less time and more frustration. And when you shift away from communicating in a healthy way, again, that creates a certain negative feeling and certain detriment in your relationship.
And I think one of the biggest things that I see is you're more likely to get flooded sooner. So if your stress and your patience is being, pulled by work and pulled by lack of sleep and pulled by all of these different things, that's going to set you up to get flooded during an argument way sooner than you would have otherwise, which is challenging. That makes it, it's sort of like everything gets harder when your schedule is super hectic.
Yeah, and that sucks, but also that's the reality. But guess what? There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Your relationship can serve as a cushion to these stressors. So let's talk a little bit about how your relationship can serve as a cushion to these external stressors and maybe even internal stressors.
Yeah. I mean, I think the main message is to look at your relationship as like a safe haven from the outside world. You know, that mentality that it's you and me against the world,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's us and them, that creates a supportive environment, a resilient environment, and, you know, really like turning towards your relationship and your partner at times of stress for positive things rather than bringing the stress from the outside world into your relationship.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Also, like, being able to vent to each other, and, like, to take your partner's side,
Mm-hmm.
it fosters a connection.
Mm-hmm.
It's like letting your partner into your world.
Yeah.
It's being lovingly curious. It's
Mm-hmm.
all those good things, and saying, like, you know what, I got you. I'm your support person.
Mm-hmm.
It's very powerful.
Yeah. And when you're both going through this, when you both have a super hectic and busy schedule, that can be hard to do. And it's even more important that you both get on board, right? So when you're in the same boat and nobody's got an absence of stress, you sort of have to both take that step and give your, you know, your effort. De-stress and decompress together, right? It doesn't have to be a one-man show. You can go take, you know, a walk around the block together. You could listen to music together. You can do a mindfulness, you know, meditation together.
Mm-hmm.
You can, you know, use that as a new ritual, as a new time,
Yeah.
a way to connect.
Yeah, and I think, like, having your relationship during a really hectic time
Mm-hmm.
is a really good, well, at least.
Mm-hmm.
And I generally hate well, at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in this context, like, it's fair game because it allows you to have a positive focus. It's like, I have all this stuff going on,
Mm-hmm.
but at least, like, even with that going on, maybe it's not a, well, at least, it's even with that going on,
Mm-hmm.
I still have my relationship,
Mm-hmm.
and my relationship is still a really positive place where I have a supportive partner that helps lift me up, that helps be there for me, that we decompress together, we de-stress together, and with all this stress, like, at least I know that is something I have to look forward to.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, having that is a safeguard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, having that and knowing that that's there is a way to protect yourself, you know, from some of these stresses. So it's a good thing, guys. I love these. So quick ways to stay connected. This is one of my favorites because you know what we did? Gosh, it was probably a couple of months ago now. I think it was in the winter. Marina and I did a talk for couples who are parents of twins.
Yes.
And that was such a fun experience because, you know, a couple is a couple is a couple. But when you have two babies, that's a lot more.
Yeah.
You know, so we had to really sit down and think, okay, what can we recommend to them? What quick tips can we give them? Because they may only have 30 seconds of uninterrupted time.
Yeah.
Or 10 minutes once a day. You know,
Yeah.
so we
There was no date night in the city.
yeah, no, it was interesting to hear from them about their reality and to have to work within that context. And we feel like the reality is busy. Everyone's busy in a different way. So being the parent of twin infants may not be all that different from what you're going through and what stressors you have, and
Mhm.
working 7 days a week or working, 18-hour days, and everyone's got their stuff. So we're going to share with you some of the tips we shared with them.
Yeah, so the first one that we talked about, and this is one I've talked about with lots of couples, but I, right away when we started strategizing about that, I'm like, we have to teach them about, the 5 mindful minutes, right? self-care has to come first. Like, self-care is partner care. You can't, there's like a million cheesy Instagram posts and sayings you can find. Like, you can't drink from an empty cup or water from an empty pail or whatever. Like, you have to
put your mask on before first. You put your whatever child's
whatever cliche works for you. Yeah. Like, it's true though. Like, you can't be present in your relationship if you're not present. So you have to prioritize self-care. And again, self-care, like, doesn't have to be a spa day. There are very small, very real ways to take care of yourself. And, like, the 5 mindful minutes, like, that's what I really love. So 5 mindful minutes is taking, literally, timer, 5 minutes to take a time out. And, like, even if you have multiples, like, you can ask for 5 minutes from your partner, and I doubt they'll refuse you if you ask really nicely. But it's about spending that time with yourself, not like when we talked about micro-rejection, like on your phone, scanning through your Facebook feed, creeping on what people you haven't talked to since high school are doing. That's not mindful time. Yeah. And remember, you only have 5 minutes, so you really want to make it worth it. So 5 mindful minutes I love. There are 5-minute guided meditations. There are 5-minute guided breathings. There are 5-minute progressive muscle relaxations. There are 5-minute self-massages and different pressure point like stimulations. 5 minutes to really tune out, disconnect, and like be with yourself and make the goal rejuvenation.
Yeah. 5 minutes. Literally 5 minutes. You can find 5 minutes. You can do it before you get out of bed in the morning. You could do it when you're in the bathroom, accomplishing other things. You can do it, you could ask your partner for 5 minutes to watch the kids. So it is doable. Another way, we always talk about rituals of connection. If you don't know what they are, go back to episode 2 and listen. It's really, really important and foundational. But choose rituals that can be done quickly, so in under 5 minutes, or pair them with something you're already doing. I love this recommendation because there's no excuses. You're already doing it. So go to episode 2, download the Rituals of Connection master list. That's the bonus for that episode, and you can literally go through it and circle the things that take less than 5 minutes or you already do, and then integrate it with your partner. So things you're already doing, greetings, how you greet each other. 6 seconds.
6-second kiss.
6-second kiss. It is what it sounds like. Kiss for 6 seconds.
Why 6 seconds?
Why 6 seconds, Marina?
Because it's long enough to feel romantic and sexy and not like you're kissing your grandma.
Important. But only 6 seconds. You can find that. So greetings, saying goodbye, taking a shower. I know we talked about that a lot in episode 1. Or 2. Episode 2.
One of my favorite, easy peasiest, like, most effective rituals of connection, and like, I want to give this the spotlight it deserves, because this is such a great ritual of connection. You know why? Because we all shower. Hopefully we all shower. We all shower. It doesn't take much to say, hey babe, come into the shower with me and we can hang out naked and have a good time together. It doesn't mean it has to lead to anything more than taking a shower, but at least it's that time that you're spending as a couple in a shower together. You're remembering that you're a couple and you're the people that see each other naked and you're the people that get to have this kind of experience. It's such a, like, super easy, simply great little life hack.
Yeah. So think that way. What are the things I already do every day, and how can I invite my partner into them? It's a great tip for saving time.
I know you guys are really good at, like, having your morning coffee together. You're going to have morning coffee anyways.
You betcha.
have it with your partner.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else we do.
What? Oh, sorry.
No, I was going to say, we've definitely, in the past couple of months, started food shopping together.
Okay.
Not something we always did, so doing that together. If I'm running a quick errand or Tom's running a quick errand, we'll go together just to take a ride and be taught, have the ability to talk to each other. Or we'll talk sometimes on the phone when one of us is getting home from work, commuting home from work. What about you guys?
So George and I have two that we find super effective. One, in the morning, like when I leave in the morning, George will walk Beefy with me to the car.
That's their dog.
That's our dog. His name's Beefy. So it's a quick walk, but like it's still a little walk that we do together in the morning, which is really nice. And the other one is, George and I love to have like a little FaceTime dinner date.
Yeah, I love that.
Again, we're both eating dinner, and just because we're not at the same place at the same time doesn't mean we can't still have dinner together. So we'll FaceTime and have our dinner together. Like I'll make, sometimes like my dinner is literally like a 15-minute break. So I'll, we'll set it up via text and we'll just make sure to have that. And super easy, doesn't require much effort, but still like really nice and making us feel connected when things are super hectic.
Yep, definitely. This one I really like. I recommend this to all my busy couples because I just feel like there's no excuse and it's so simple. So those times in the day when you think of your partner, they just pop in your head, right? Like you visualize them, or you remember something, or you think of something, or you feel something, and you're like, oh, that's nice. Shoot them a text. 2-second text. Hey babe, just thought about dinner last weekend. That was really fun. Boom, done.
It can also just be an eggplant emoji.
It can just be an eggplant emoji. It could be,
whatever it is, right?
Whatever is for you guys.
But it's just about like saying like, hey, I'm thinking about you.
Yeah, exactly. That's all it is. But that's really powerful. And the marker, instead of having to remember, oh my gosh, I have to text her, I have to text him, blah, blah, blah. Like, just make it a rule. If I think of my partner, I will text them and let them know. Very simple.
And again, you're not writing a novella.
No.
Just a little like, hey, thinking about you. Really, really nice, really super quick way to stay connected.
Yep. And I think, the final thing that I typically recommend, I always ask about bedtime routines. Like, what are your routines around going to bed? And often, especially for busy couples, it's like one person likes to decompress on the couch watching TV, one person likes to decompress in bed, or one person, like everyone's got their own way. And it's like, okay, well, how can we compromise and bring this together into one ritual? Because you're going to go to bed. You're going to get in bed at some point. You're going to go to sleep. So how can you set it up to do together? So, I'll make plans with couples where, okay, at this time, we're going to go upstairs. We're going to get in bed. Maybe we'll watch a show. Maybe we'll, give each other a massage. Maybe we'll just cuddle. But we'll be together, and that'll be our time because it's going to happen every day. So I like that one.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I have one last one.
Yeah?
Yeah. So this is one that I know you guys have done this, and I know George and I do this, but I think it's like a really worthwhile mentioning. Sometimes when we have to do work on the weekends or even like weekdays, but we work from home, to couple like doing work with like a little reward with each other is like a huge thing for us. Like, so we'll go and park at a coffee shop and both have our laptops out, be doing this, and then we'll set a time, and then we'll say like at this time we can have like a glass of wine together and put our laptops away and like have half an hour or 45 minutes kind of uninterrupted, not doing work or so like coupling a reward with doing work together. And I think there's something really nice to like, if you have the opportunity to park somewhere and like at a nice coffee shop or like somewhere where you really like to be and do work in the same vicinity.
Yeah, pair it. I mean, that's something, you know, I know you and we've had to really adapt to, because, you know, there's this problem that there's not enough hours in the day. So you have to sometimes pair, you know, the fun or I like how you said it, like go somewhere that makes you feel good and the work, you know? So totally, we do the same thing. We'll go to a coffee shop that we really like. We'll sit outside there. That's what I really like about that place. You can sit outside. Or lately I've been pushing the envelope a little more and working out of my in-laws' pool. So thank God for them and their pool. And I set up a very interesting contraption on the side of the pool to keep my laptop cool. But hey, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, right? In terms of work and play being merged. So
makes me feel a little jealous.
Sorry.
When I'm sitting in my Brooklyn apartment and Meredith is like, I'm just in the pool.
You're welcome to join me.
Yes, I think that's what's going to need to happen one of these days.
So that's a really good one. Thanks for sharing that. I like that. So listen, we don't want you to just listen to this and not do anything with it. We want you to integrate it into your relationship. So to make it even easier for you, we've created our lightning fast connection activities list. This is a list of rituals of connection that you can do in 5 minutes or less. So you don't even have to go download the one from episode 2 because you don't have any time anyway. So we've sorted out the ones that are brief, and we're going to make it available to you. You can get that on our website at simplygreatrelationships.com/014. That's a good one. Definitely grab it. It'll take you no time at all. Let's talk about takeaways.
What's your big takeaway?
Oh my gosh. I think just a refresher of like keeping present in your mind, how can I invite my partner into stuff I'm already doing? Like, how can I create more moments of connection without having to find necessarily the time for it? What about for you?
For me, what you talked about in terms of if you have only 5 hours together and one of those hours is negative, that's 20% of the time that's negative.
Yeah.
You can't buffer against that.
Right.
Versus if you have 20 hours together and 1 hour is negative, that's only 5%. You can buffer out 5%, no problem.
Yeah.
But 20%, like, that's already impactful. So it's extra important to remember that in a hectic time when you're kind of running on empty, like, that free time, the little free time you have is such a gift that you need to invest wisely.
Yeah.
That you don't want to invest it in negativity. You really want to invest it in really nice rituals of connection, really nice ways to decompress together, really nice ways to, like, reward yourselves, to feel connected, to feel intimate, to feel great as a couple.
Definitely. So that's all for today. We hope that you take these tips and start using them right away. Be sure to get the download. We'd love to continue the conversation with you in our Facebook group. So you can join us there, where we're going to be sharing tips, tricks, live streams exclusively for our members. You can get to that at facebook.com/groups/simplygreatrelationships, or you can go over to our website, simplygreatrelationships.com, and just click the link. So until next week, bye.
Bye.